Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Mock. If you don't know me, I'm the band director here, and we are at the culmination of the coolest thing we do all year long in the band department. It's Jazz Week, and like I said, it's the funnest thing we do. It's the biggest thing the students look forward to. First of all, thank you to all the teachers who have been so flexible this week in allowing the kids to come down and study privately with these musicians that we've had in, and for today, and just everybody's flexibility really to make this possible. We really appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Gio. Today we're with John, the multi-millionaire gamer at the age of 16 and has his own clan. How are you, John?
I'm good, thanks.
How is it being a multi-millionaire?
Well, it's good, but most of the time I get bored and I just waste time because after flying in your private jet and helicopters and having all your games and everything, it just gets boring after a while.
How did you become a multi-millionaire?
Well, I don't like talking about this, but a small loan of $500,000 got me here. I put it in some stocks and bam, multi-millionaire in no time.
What does your clan do?
My clan is a sniping clan, and we also have a competitive team. We're hoping we can get up in the major leagues with big name people or clans like FaZe and Optic sometime soon.
How did you start your clan?
Well, it all started when with that small loan of $500,000 I got. I got myself a computer and started making YouTube videos, and I posted a video about my clan, and everybody just started wanting to join.
Where does your team live?
Right now they live in Chicago, but we're hoping to move to LA sometime soon.
What kind of cars do you have and which is your fastest?
Well, I have the boring ones, and then I have my fastest, which is I have to say my T20.
Well, that's all the time we have. And
Hello, welcome to Let's Talk. I am Jan, and today we have a very special guest. He has 7 novels, 6 collections of short stories, and much more published. He has participated in World War I and World War II. He also won 2 literary awards. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Ernest Hemingway.
Hello.
So, Mr. Hemingway, why did you start writing?
Well, I read a lot of books when I was a kid, and those authors were my heroes, so I decided to do what they did, and look what it's become.
What does the lost generation mean?
Oh, funny story. My former friend was watching her neighbor yell at his young gardeners, and when she asked him why he was yelling at them, he said that they couldn't even take simple directions like mowing the lawn and weeding the garden, so I took it and put it in a book. It simplifies that the generation of our times is a lost cause.
What was your writing process?
Usually I would think of an idea, have a drink or two, and then the words just flowed from my brain to the page.
Okay. Did alcohol really help you think?
In a way, I think so. I never really could think of anything without being a little tipsy, so I don't know for sure.
What was it like during the wars?
It was hectic, to say the least. Soldiers would usually arrive at the camp or battlefield and listen to instructions, but I wouldn't know anything about that because I was an ambulance driver for both world wars. I think the worst injury I got was when 23 pieces of shrapnel hit me and I had to recover at a hospital in Italy.
Incredible. Well, do you think you had a good life?
Like you said in my introduction, I've had 6 collections of short stories, 7 novels, and much more published. I've participated in the 2 greatest wars of all time, and I've won 2 awards. I'd say it's a pretty good life to live.
Wow, amazing. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Next week, a dog who can use sign language. See you next time on Let's Talk.
Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Taviana. Today my guest is Simone Biles. She is very flexible and strong and has great technique. Let's give it up for Simone Biles.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Simone. So, starting with the first question, when you fell off the beam, how did you feel?
Well, I was nervous, and the reason why I fell is because I was very nervous. Unfortunately, I got back up and I tried again, and I succeeded.
How many hours of practice do you get each day?
Well, I practice from 2 o'clock to 8:45 each day except Saturday and Sunday.
Geesh, have you ever sprained an ankle?
Actually, yes, I have. It was the most painful experience in my life. Like, I couldn't even walk on it or anything. All I could do was put ice on it and elevate it.
Moving on, how does it feel being a gold medalist?
It feels like I accomplished something of my bucket list and it all paid off. All the other gymnasts did good too, but I feel like I deserved it.
Last question, what are your favorite hobbies other than gymnastics?
My favorite hobbies are dance, volleyball, and fashion. And I also love going to the mall with my gymnastics buddies. I don't do them often because of gymnastics.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you for your time, Simone, and thanks for watching Let's Talk.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Amelia and today's guest is Destiny. She is the current CEO of Alpo Incorporated. She's 23 years old and she's been the best CEO in the company for the past 2 years. Today we will have to talk to her about the job and the new devices that will be coming out this following year. It's good to have you, Destiny.
Nice being in your show.
Could you tell us a little bit about your job?
Well, in my job, I basically set the directions and I tell which markets will the company enter and against which competitors.
What does CEO stand for?
CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer, which, like I said, is the head of a company.
What's your monthly income?
My median salary would be like about $700,000. That would be my best guess.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the new iPhone 7 that came out this 2016. What new features will it have?
The iPhone 7 didn't come with the headphone jack, as you see, and it's much thinner than the other ones, and it also came with the iPhone 7 Plus, and it was also similar to the iPhone 6.
Are there going to be new devices this 2016?
Yes, most likely.
In your family, are you the only person that works for a big company like Apple?
Between my brothers, yes. In my whole family, no, because my cousin works for Android too, so it's only us two.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming, Destiny.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Hope you join us next time on Let's Talk.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Buddy. Welcome to Let's Talk. Today, Marquise is here. If you don't know who he is a wolf trainer that works at the zoo to train wolves. So, Marquise, how'd you get started?
Well, one day I was in a cabin because I live in the woods. It's
Yeah.
made out of wood because I chopped down some trees
Okay.
and made it. And I saw a wolf. I was interested in the wolf. So I came up to it, I fed it, and then I just made it my pet. That's how I got started.
Okay. Well, why did you think it was a good idea to train wolves?
Well, I had that wolf for a long time as my pet, and so I started training wolves because of him.
Well, how did you get wolves not to attack you?
Well, this. I use this sometimes. If you gotta feed them, and then you gotta discipline them. Discipline.
Please, don't swing that around, okay? Please.
Okay. Well, that's how.
Well, how do you get humans to take care of wolves if they don't know how to take one or they've never had one before?
Well, I tell them to get a sword just in case. 'Cause if the wolf don't like you, even though you gotta discipline him to make him be his pet, to be your pet, but if the wolf really don't like you, it's gonna try to eat you. So you gotta get a sword in case of emergencies
So
like this one.
So what, you're just gonna kill it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you get wolves not to attack you?
That's just what you just said.
I mean, if you don't,
Boy, if you don't get this right,
if you got a wolf and you didn't want him or her anymore, how would you give them back?
use this or pay $55.
So kill them or pay $55.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but that's all the time we have for Let's Talk. Today, I'm your host, Nicholas Boddy, and I'll see you next time on Let's Talk.
Did you know that soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world? More than 250 million people play soccer every year. Soccer was first invented in England. Soccer is most played in more than 200 countries. In one game, it is common for a player to run at least 6 miles. Soccer is most commonly played in Mexico. In South America, soccer is most favorite game to play. Soccer is known as football in many countries. An international soccer game is 90 minutes long. Did you know that Ronaldo has scored the most in the World Cup? From Memorial Park News, I'm Jamabi.
Experimental science, the very foundations of discovery, science, even human evolution. Without it, humans may not exist today. When most people hear experimental science, they think of test tubes, lab coats, and huge machines that go beep. But actually, the most earliest and most significant act of experimental science was when humans created the fire. They must have noticed the naturally occurring fires caused most commonly by lightning and were able to replicate the discovery. Other important acts of experimental science are the discovery of the vaccination, Newton's discovery of science, and the first oil well. Without it, humans, well, we probably would have frozen to death, or some other thing would have attacked us. As you can see, experimental science has greatly impacted today's world. For Memorial Park,
how big was the solar system? There's 8 planets, 5 dwarf planets, and tens of thousands of asteroids in one asteroid belt. There is 181 moons. 173 of them are orbiting around full-size planets. The other 8 are orbiting around the 5 dwarf planets. The 8 planets in order are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. The 5 dwarf planets in order are Pluto, Eris, 2007, the exponent of 10, Makey, and the first person who have stepped 1 foot on the moon was Neil Armstrong. For Memorial Park News.
Apparently letting Manning go was a bad idea. Broncos missed the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. Could this be the end of the reign of the Broncos? The Broncos have had some trouble this year. They lost their starting quarterback, Peyton Manning, and getting back to the playoffs was pretty hard this year. Also, their running back it was also impossible for the running back to come back with an all-year injury. Some of the defensive players also had some off-the-field problems, and that plummeted their performance. 2 losses against the Kansas City Chiefs sealed the deal. The Broncos had officially missed the playoffs. But, hey, at least the divisional rivals that made it to the playoffs lost. Yay! But can Denver bring themselves back to the playoffs? Well, with CJ, I think so. From Memorial Park News, I'm Caleb.